All right, I guess you could file this under good news the same way I considered the principal who was fired for showing empathy to gay people was good news because of how people reacted to the firing. So, in this case, a church fired its music director for being gay. Then something surprising happened. And as a subheading, it says, church leaders didn't expect congregants to respond as they did. So, obviously, they just assumed their congregation was so virulently anti-gay that they would just see the music director as a gay person as opposed to just a person who happens to be gay. So let's keep going. Congregants of a Michigan Catholic church are outraged that their longtime music director was dismissed after church leaders discovered that he married his same-sex partner 4 years ago. Wow, it's a Catholic church. Fred Stepanski, affectionately known as Mr. Fred to fellow parishioners, probably to avoid saying the last name, served as the music director at Traverse City's St. Francis Catholic Church for 35 years before he was abruptly fired last month. Now, I'm going to go into it. First off, this is a Catholic church, which are usually quite conservative. Now, based on the congregation, there is a disconnect, but why would a gay man take a job with a church that doesn't approve of him? But it's nice to see that the congregation had his back, but still. Stepanski told the Traverse City Record Eagle that parish administrator Reverend Michael Lingauer informed him on October 18th that church leadership had received a letter from an unnamed person notifying them that Stepanski had married his longtime partner in Nevada in 2020. Don't know if this is a fellow parishioner, one of the few parishioners that didn't approve, that most parishioners approved of, and maybe there were some that didn't, that agreed with these church leaders. I'm not sure. Or it could just be someone from outside the community just wanted to screw him over. Who knows? Stepanski says he confirmed that he and his husband, Bill Thompson, were married. Lingauer not only fired Stepanski, who had already announced his upcoming retirement, but reportedly told him he could no longer take communion during Mass at St. Francis. Well, at least the guy was going to retire, but still, that's a pretty shitty thing. I mean, this is the same church that was playing musical chairs with sex-abusing priests, child-abusing priests. So, but this man who's about to retire, we have to fire him immediately. Yeah, makes sense. Pastoral Council member Dave Martin told the Traverse City Record Eagle that he received the letter about Stepanski's marriage. He didn't name the sender, but told the Traverse City Record Eagle that the sender had a seasonal connection to the church and that the letter had an out-of-state postmark. So, a snowbird, maybe? That's what that means? In a statement, the Diocese of Gaylord said that it takes employee privacy very seriously and declined to disclose details about individual personnel matters. I'm still hung up on who might have. It might have been someone who obviously, so he is a parishioner, but not a full-time one. So I don't know, did he look up if this guy was married, or did he have a problem with him and he set out to get him into trouble? I have so many questions. Renee Schimmel, a spokesperson for the diocese, told local outlet The Ticker that the bishop and diocesan HR director provide guidance and assistance in such matters, but ultimately leave decisions up to individual parishes. Friends say Sapensky told them that Bishop Jeffrey Walsh refused to get involved even after one of St. Francis's deacons complained about Sapensky's dismissal. St. Francis parishioners have staged protests in recent weeks, picketing outside the church during October 27th services with signs reading "Love, not hate," "God includes, not excludes," and "Fired, not retired," the Traverse City Record Eagle reported. Members of the choir also staged their own silent protest during a recent mass, wearing black and refusing to sing. Nice. You can tell by the reaction of the choir we're not taking it lying down, choir member and cantor Robert de Gabriel told the paper. He got fired because he's gay, fellow choir member Bob Holden said. He's extremely talented. He's perfect on the piano. He has perfect pitch, and because of him, I look forward to going to church every week. I'm divorced. Do I get thrown out next? Exactly. If there's anything that the church is really good at, it's hypocrisy. I mean, seriously, what is the difference? Okay, you don't approve of gay marriage, fine. But the Bible is pretty clear about what it thinks of divorce. So, and the Catholic Church has been anti-divorce for a long time. So, why is one person okay, the divorcee, but a gay guy who's happily married and about to retire, that's beyond the pale? I could go on because there's a lot of hypocrisy. Others pointed out the diocese's hypocrisy in firing Sapensky. I'm so good at these articles. I predict what they're going to say next. While the church's previous leader, Reverend Don Gaiman, was merely transferred to another parish after being credibly accused of sexual misconduct. Another thing I mentioned earlier. They'll play musical chairs with priests who abuse, and it's usually altar boys. But a gay guy gets canned? It's despicable what has happened and how it has happened, choir member Sherry Koenig said. Mr. Fred is kind, honorable, and caring. Liz Yarch told The Ticker that it was well known that Sapensky is gay, and that she believes Lingauer, who only installed as Gaiman's replacement in July, is entirely responsible for his dismissal. Something tells me this priest isn't going to be staying in this parish for very, very long. Fred was fired for his personal life, and I find that cruel, Yarch told the Traverse City Record Eagle. You know, it's weird because usually churches look for priests that jibe with the parishioners. Not just, I mean, I realize that the population of Catholic priests is dwindling, but still, they usually find someone who jibes with the culture of the church and not just any old schmuck who happens to be a priest. While Sapensky has not commented on whether he plans to take legal action. According to the paper, a GoFundMe campaign launched to raise money to cover his insurance costs and legal fees has raised nearly $52,000. And I think he should go and take the church to court, because literally just the priest has a problem with it. I mean, the freaking Pope, which last I checked, Catholics are supposed to look as the ultimate authority, would be fine with this. I mean, even with same-sex marriage, it just says you can't bless the marriage, but you know, they could be allowed to exist. Now, do I agree with a lot of what the Pope says? I mean, he was very, very willing to use the Polish word for faggot. So, obviously, he's not exactly an ally, but he's still better than this dipsy doodle who fires a guy simply for being married to another man. I mean, I don't know if he was angling for this guy to be dismissed and this gave him an out, or because if everybody knew he was gay and this guy was just installed in July, it's entirely possible he didn't know. Or he did know and he just couldn't come up with a good reason to dismiss him. But a secret marriage to a man, somehow that would be okay. And obviously this guy knew that could be problematic, because why keep it a secret otherwise? Obviously the parishioners don't give a crap. They're perfectly fine with the fact that, he's a good music director. They don't care that he's gay. They don't care that he's married to a man, as it should be. Because as long as you're competent in your job, who the hell cares who you're sleeping with? So yeah, that's why I'm saying it is kind of good news, because yes, this priest is a serious douchebag, but at least the parishioners are taking the side of the music director. Now, whether they would have if they didn't know him and they didn't love him, I don't know. Because some people, in order to develop empathy, have to actually have a personal connection. But the fact is that they're on his side. They're actually picketing their own church. So either the church is going to have to hope to blow things over, or they're going to have to find another priest. Because people are pretty sure that he's the one who fired this guy, who fired the music director. Simply because, now whether it was because I assume it was because he's married to a man, not just because he was gay. Simply because he's known him since July. I mean, again, it's possible he didn't know and found out that he had a secret husband and freaked out. That's a possibility. But either way, he obviously does not jibe with the parishioners, because most parishioners are taking the music director's side. And I really do hope that this means that the seasonal parishioner never ever comes back. Because I'm pretty sure that the parishioners who are there, the regulars, know who this guy is, even this person, I should say. Know who this person is. And if this person is smart, because they outed the marriage of this guy, and he sees the response that this music director is getting, I hope that means that they understand that never to go back to that church again, because the parishioners are not going to welcome you. So, they might not be outwardly hostile, but they aren't going to be really thrilled that he's there, that this person is there because of their actions. A music director was fired for the dumbest reason. Anyway, that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.